It's been a gazillion years, but Silksong is finally here, and I cannot get enough of it. I've played about 13 hours, I have 9 areas opened up, and it is every bit as amazing as Hollow Knight OG is, and more so. I have minimal complaints about it, but even then, I'm sure the longer I play this game, the more I will be able to adapt and overcome those complaints. We'll see. Maybe I'll be griping about it till the end, but only time will tell. This game is 1000% a Hollow Knight sequel, but it expands upon what Hollow Knight gave us in such amazing and infuriating ways. The sound design, the songs, the characters, the layering on the maps, everything is so much more polished, and it practically glows with love from Team Cherry. I understand why they went radio silence. It really feels like they just got so excited and just kept adding and adding and adding, and I love that. I do wish that instead of just giving us nothing and letting us freak out for years upon literal years, they'd been like, hey, glad you're still excited about this. We appreciate the support. However, we're going to continue working on it. It's still a thing that's happening. We'll let you know when it is time. I do feel like the fans deserved that, but honestly, this game just makes me forgive all of that. It is so phenomenal. It is so phenomenal. I don't need an apology from them from just the lack of updates. But yeah, this game was definitely made for Hornet. Oh my god. Original Hollow Knight was difficult enough. It is the only game that has made me legitimately rage and just get angry until it finally clicked and I got it and it became one of my top 5 favorite games ever. And I can easily see this game surpassing that. It is 1000% a sequel, but again, it feels like it was designed for Hornet. It has late game Hollow Knight difficulty. Right off the bat, we have some of the grunt enemies dealing 2 mask damage, which really caught me off guard as I was just exploring. Like, okay, I have 5 masks, no big deal. I can get hit a couple of times without having to worry about replenishing my life. No, you do have to worry about that. 3 attacks from some of these grunts can land your ass on a bench, and it's like, oh shit, okay, I've got to go. Where was the last point I saved? What? We don't have a map to open up the area yet. Okay, hold on. Recalibrating. It was a bit of an adjustment. I think you'll have a leg up if you go straight from Hollow Knight into this, like practice with the game a little bit before you go into Silksong. But yeah, I'd have to say that is one of my complaints, the grunts just doing 2 mask damage. I think if they'd gone back to 1, it would have definitely softened the difficulty enough to still make it a difficult game, but a little bit easier on the player, you know? It makes sense for the bosses, mini bosses, to have this 2 mask damage. I can expect that. But yeah, it's been a little bit difficult for me. The double damage honestly has made me less inclined, at least in the early game. It has made me a little bit less inclined to go find the last 2 pieces that I need to make a 6th mask, because it's still... it'll still be a 3-hit death, right? I need 1.5 more masks, and that just feels a little bit more like a chore. They're so much more hidden in this game. It feels more difficult to come across those masks, those pieces to level up, if you will, to beef up, to bulk up, which makes it interesting. It's not necessarily a bad thing, except for that double mask damage. It's kept me on my toes. It's kept me wary. It's made me think a little bit more critically before I just leapt into battle and got wrecked in 15 seconds flat or less. The only other complaint really that I have at this time is the monies, the rosaries. I've been able to cap out on shell shards for crafting tools with such ease. It's frustrating to me that there is a cap on how many shell shards that I can carry, unlike in Hollow Knight. I haven't gotten enough rosaries, the beads at least, to see if I can max out the pouch yet. But on one hand, we have capping out on shell shards, which are so easy to find, much like the Geo. And then you have the rosaries, which it is so easy to pull rosaries off of the pilgrims that it seems like it's not going to be much of an issue. But as soon as you start to branch out and there are less and less pilgrims as you're progressing through Farloom, you start to sweat. At least I started to sweat, especially whenever I'm getting those double deaths from the 2 mask attacks from grunts, which really irk me, but that's just the nature of the game, right? And I'll find myself making my way back to the first area, especially if I need a map or something from Chakra or just something from the shop. Rosary beads are too difficult to come by and too easy to lose. You know what? I'll add a third gripe, and this one is a little bit more personal for me. I wish that we could fill in our own map with the quill. I understand that we have to buy the map from Chakra before we can add more stuff with the quill, but I wish that was something that we could, as long as we had the quill in our inventory, we were able to add to create our own map, especially when Chakra drops a line like, oh yeah, cartography is a skill that warriors definitely need to use. It just sounded kind of like a given to me, but I digress. Other than that, the game really is phenomenal. The sound design was one of the very first things that I was struck by. The NPCs and the enemies have so much more personality just through chittering and just the variation in the sounds that they're making. Enemies in Hollow Knight would just kind of float and chill there aimlessly, mindlessly, not really having much going on. No thoughts until the night comes along and, oh, we gotta hit him. Okay, he's gone. Just go back to no more thoughts. But now we have enemies that are like eating grass and interacting with one another, and it's really nifty. And instead of just like 2 different sounds, they're making 3, 4, 5 different noises, which I think really makes a difference. Especially when the pilgrims, even though they are cursed, these were people. They weren't just random dumb bugs. It would make sense that they have like more voice lines, if you will. I don't know. It was just a nice little touch. Even in the environment too, the crackling of the fire, the embers, just the running through the brush in the grass. It feels so much more beefy with sound. It really does help immerse you into the environment more. The visuals too, it seems so much more refined and has so much more added. I would always be astounded whenever I returned to play Hollow Knight after some time had passed, just how much artwork there was, just pure, beautiful artwork. And this one has just so much more. It's master level artistry. I love it so much. It is like playing in a piece of art. It's not just a video game, it's playing in a piece of art, and I absolutely love it. The characters too are great. I love all of the newcomers. Oh my god, I am obsessed with Chakra. She is so cool. I'm like, if we're getting a third Hollow Knight game, I'm hoping that it is Chakra. No offense to Lace. I know that she was the first big battle, or the first look that we had at Silksong whenever we were just still getting tidbits and trailers. And she seems fine. I didn't really like her. I didn't really like her character. Like, she was a neat boss to fight. But Chakra, oh my gosh, the battle where you were fighting alongside her, I'm like, ooh, yes, awesome. She's just too cool. I love her moveset. I'm hoping that she's gonna be like the protagonist of the third. So far, again, only 13 hours in, so we may have more characters that unlock that are just infinitely cooler or just as cool, and maybe Lace will grow on me. So far, eh. But of course we have like returning character types, if you will, like the hunter who has you go out and collect all of the different enemies. New, she's weird, she's kooky, I love her. Cornifer, obviously Chakra. I miss Cornifer. He was just so fun and I loved his humming. But we do get that in Sherma. Oh my god, Sherma is a vibe. I love her. I can't get her song out of my head. I love the remixes and artwork and memes that have already come out of Sherma and Sherma alone. I love the Bell Beast, but I do also miss Stag. The last Stag was awesome. Bell Beast is just a cute puppy, and I love him so much. Still, that dialogue, I miss having a friend to chat with in Stag. Of course, we are not lacking for dialogue with such a wide variety of NPCs now, right? In Hollow Knight, we were in a dead kingdom that was just barely hanging on the brink of extinction, total annihilation. You know, there was something looming, but there weren't too many bugs there to feel it. And in this one, we have a whole bunch of bustling pilgrims, warriors traveling through Farloom as well. It's been really refreshing to have more people to talk to instead of just Stag, Quirrell. God rest in peace, Quirrell. I'm waiting for another death to just rip through me. I'm really hoping Sherma doesn't get it. I'm really hoping Sherma doesn't get it, but I'm thinking of, I can't remember her name, the little miner girl in the Crystal Peaks. I'm like, please don't be another one of those. Please don't be a Quirrell. But it's just been nice to have more dialogue. I thought it would be a little bit more of an adjustment, I guess. I don't know, because we've come from a silent protagonist and very much more atmospheric vibe with Hollow Knight. Then there's just so much more going on here. The kingdom hasn't yet collapsed. Like, yes, it does seem like it could be on the brink of destruction, but we still have pilgrims going into it despite that, so it's not quite at its tipping point, at least in Act 1 where I'm at. We'll see later on in the game, but as much information as we have gotten from the dialogue and talking to some of the characters, they've still done a good job as far as you still have to look for the story. In Hollow Knight, you don't really know what you're doing. Cool, we're unearthing and learning more about the knight as we go on. This one, we do have a direction, you know, with Hornet being like, I need to figure out why they captured me. I have a hunch, but still, I want answers. But we still don't know what's going on with her physically, I should say. There's been a couple of points in the opening where she's, I don't know, it looks like she's very injured. We haven't gotten many answers, or there's still a mystery. I love that they aren't just giving it to us through dialogue. We still have to hunt for it. And then there's the builds. I was expecting a whole host of new charms to adjust the experience each time you go through. Like, everyone is given the same base moves. Like, this is what everyone is working with. It's up to you to make a cool combination of charms to make your own playstyle. But the addition of crests in this one changes that entirely. The crests and tools are a really unique change from the charms. The crests are really neat. I like that it does change up the base of the fighting style itself. You do have the tools, which kind of feel like charms. Again, the knight has a base move set, and then you're using charms to just adjust things, right? Well, you have, I don't know, I've seen up to 5, I think, different crests so far. I've only unlocked 2. And then the tools feel like those charms on top of the base fighting styles, if you will. I've only really mastered 1. I'm working on my Reaper Crest game, but once again, keeps you on your toes and makes you think about situations a little bit more and like what would do better here. Because in Hollow Knight, it's just, okay, this is my battle charm set, this is my exploration charm set. Maybe we'll tweak a few, but if you're a fan of these, you don't really have to deviate from it. But I can see how you're gonna have to change those up a little more frequently. All in all, I've been having an excellent time. I am curious to see what other bosses are ahead, or maybe not necessarily bosses, but the mini gauntlets, if you will, with all of these basic grunt enemies. I think those have been giving me more difficulty than just the big standard bosses. The Sister Splinter and the 4th Chorus, those were cool. I had a really fun time fighting them, but oh my gosh, the ones where they just keep sending out mini enemies after mini enemies, those for some reason are giving me more of a difficult time. I don't know what it is. I'll get there eventually, but I'm just looking forward to seeing what's ahead. I know I haven't unlocked the entirety of the map. I know that Farloom is supposed to be bigger than Hollow Nest, and I'm excited to see what's in store. I need to know if Sherma makes it. I really do. I need her to be there till the end. I want her to make it out alive. But yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know what's been giving you trouble, your favorite area so far. What song has made you cry because it's just so beautiful, and why is it the marrow? Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.